July 20th, 11:41 a.m. I am to report in the last hour um, when I was bathing in the bathtub inside of this hellhole. Yeah, this is how I live in Washington, D.C., which I will never forget. Around 10:30, at my green light time to go safely take a bath, within 4 minutes of continuous water flowing into the bathtub, the stench came into the bathroom through the bathtub. The stench was a stench level of 3. So there's 1 through 5. It was bad. It's gnarly. Oh, and you like that within a second breathe through your mouth because you just don't want to smell that. What it was human remains with the chemical dissolvent. The chemical dissolvent is so strong and so gnarly. And as that stench grew with the water flowing in the bathtub, you then could ID where it was coming from. So it's coming from the area of where the water faucet is releasing water, okay? The bathtub is filling up, okay? And then you go to the very other end of the bathtub, which is that area I've said, where I was standing talking to the friends of Mrs. Hogue, right where I said they drag the heavy metal objects. So you have the bathroom wall there. You have where I was standing yesterday, and I tapped my foot and I said under the floor there. And I showed where the DB, the stench of a corpse, was coming up from the floor. You know it's coming from there. It's so strong, you know it. You can always ID if it's coming from floor 3 or the floor. I know what I'm talking about. So it's coming from the floor. It was so gnarly, okay? That's on yesterday's testimony. Go ahead and review that. So you have this whole area, okay? It's their station. And so you run the water, you first ID that stench, which I just described now on this testimony. It comes from the faucet where it's filling up the bathtub. And as it gets stronger and you're stirring up that system that they have there, their little disgusting human remains station, then it starts to come, you ID the stench of the same stench, which I just described here on this testimony now. You have it coming from that wall. Okay, you follow me now? That wall. Where if you go down that floor, which I just said, and you can review what I said again on yesterday's testimony of how it operates. Okay, so it's all based on the floor, exactly. Most of it, but there's things I can't talk about, okay? And some things I can't talk about, I have referenced only once on YouTube. It's all there for the public to review if they like. Okay, so the stench, as the water's flowing and you're stirring up their little disgusting human remains station, it goes from the drain area where the faucet's running all the way to the wall of the bathtub is facing the wall. In that bathroom, you can review the videos, the edge of the bathtub, there's the top and the bottom of the bathtub, okay? So the bottom of the bathtub is the faucet. The top of the bathtub is the wall. Then it starts to the stench just starts to in my words, the stench gushes up. These are my words. The stench does. It gushes up from the top and the bottom, point A and point B of the bathtub. Okay, and then almost like standard, every time you do that, you go out to the stairs where I was just saying I smell DBs, and you smell the same station smells, or you smell a DB. And that is where you also witness activity, human activity of dragging heavy metal objects and other stuff and things that I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube. All right. So that took place today again. The station is fully up and running. Human remains and this chemical dissolvent, the more you run the water, from point A of the bathtub to point B of the bathtub. It's just gushing up the stench, and the stench level is level 3. Adios.